Beneath the amber glow of the setting sun, the entrance to the vast estate shimmered like watchful guardians protecting a realm of extraordinary fortune. Yet on this specific afternoon, the figure positioned at those gates bore no resemblance to a wealthy magnate. His worn naval uniform draped loosely across his slender build. His hat rested low over his brow, and his calloused hands clutched the frigid iron railings as if they alone sustained his balance. To any observer he appeared merely as another elderly groundskeeper collecting his modest earnings. None could have imagined that beneath the profound creases carved into his distinguished, weathered features lived a man who possessed more territory than the horizon could encompass, enterprises across continents, and a soul that life's decisions had both enriched and shattered. This man was Henry Eduel. And on this day his purpose was not safeguarding the property, but securing his beloved son's destiny. If you value compassion, redemption, and the strength found in recognizing people's essence rather than their possessions, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Ness Corner. United we can share narratives that move souls and spark transformation. Henry's strategy had crystallized over many weeks, each passing day bringing him nearer to the revelation he desperately sought. His son David had become betrothed to a captivating young woman called Naomi, whose radiance could illuminate any space, yet whose character Henry remained unable to discern. He had witnessed countless acquaintances lose their wealth and identity by placing faith in the wrong individual. Therefore he chose an ancient yet illuminating examination. He would masquerade as an impoverished gatekeeper for 7 days, positioned directly at the estate's entrance. Naomi would eventually pass through as his future daughter-in-law. Only his most reliable confidant understood this deception. To Naomi's eyes he would remain unseen unless her true nature revealed itself. The initial day unfolded without incident. Naomi emerged from a chauffeured vehicle, the sparkle of a diamond bracelet reflecting sunlight as she alighted, her fragrance lingering like a declaration of significance. Henry acknowledged her with a respectful bow, yet she never turned toward him. Her mobile device commanded her attention. Day by day, it became evident that his presence barely registered with her. He unfastened the gates each morning and secured them every evening, through sunshine and storms, without receiving even a single word from her. Henry sought no elaborate displays, merely a fragment of consideration, but discovered nothing. Then arrived the incident that would burn itself into his consciousness. Naomi had appeared earlier than her custom, her crimson gown striking against the estate's cream-colored walls. She appeared agitated, grumbling quietly as she approached the entrance. Henry released the gates, moving somewhat to one side. Without forewarning she halted before him, a plastic container in her grasp, its contents dark and viscous. Wearing a smile that failed to touch her gaze, she upended it across his head. The chilled beverage saturated his cap, cascaded down his cheeks, and soaked his garment in degradation. She cackled, a noise cruel enough to wound his spirit, and departed as if the incident held no significance. Henry remained motionless. The clothing adhered to his flesh as did the mortification. His thoughts returned to his departed wife who had often declared, "A person's essence reveals itself through their treatment of those who offer them nothing." In that instant Henry understood his son stood at the precipice of a future that might devastate him. Yet Henry refrained from hasty action. He required certainty, to determine whether this malice represented a momentary lapse or her authentic character. Throughout the following days he watched her from concealment. She never expressed remorse. She never extended him a gracious word even following that incident. Rather she seemed to become increasingly dismissive, more presumptuous. Henry's burden intensified, recognizing the approaching confrontation would wound his son profoundly. When the moment of revelation finally arrived, Henry discarded the threadbare uniform and donned the custom-fitted suit that had once served as his professional armor. The gatekeeper had vanished. The billionaire had emerged. He requested Naomi and David's presence in the estate's grand chamber, its polished marble reflecting the illumination from chandeliers that had observed countless family celebrations. David appeared bewildered, unaware of the events about to transpire. Naomi's expression registered shock when Henry entered, no longer the stooped figure beside the gates, but a man emanating understated authority. Speaking in measured tones with penetrating eyes, Henry recounted his week's experience, describing the gatekeeper who had remained invisible, deemed unworthy of acknowledgement, until becoming a target of mockery. Naomi's expression transformed from incredulity to terror, desperately seeking words that remained elusive. David's hand, previously entwined with hers, gradually withdrew. The quiet in that chamber grew so profound it seemed the very structure was eavesdropping. Naomi attempted explanations, trying to dismiss her actions as humor or temporary stress, but the harm was irreversible. Henry never elevated his voice, never subjected her to additional shame. He merely stated that affection without dignity resembles a fortress constructed upon shifting ground. The betrothal concluded that afternoon, not amid furious accusations, but through the gentle, undeniable reality of a trial unsuccessful. David's heart broke, yet eventually he recognized his father's intervention as protective love, not meddling. Months afterward, he encountered someone whose compassion radiated more brilliantly than her expression. A woman who, upon meeting the estate's actual gatekeeper, clasped his hand and expressed gratitude for his service. Henry observed them together one twilight, their shared joy resonating throughout the gardens, and felt the oppressive burden within his chest finally dissipate. If this narrative moved your spirit, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so others may discover the strength found in looking beyond material wealth and superficial appearances. Before departing, I offer a personal appeal. Please share your reflections on this tale in the comments below. Do you believe Henry chose correctly? Your perspectives hold greater significance than you realize. Existence possesses a manner of exposing truth during our most unsuspecting moments. Occasionally, the most significant examinations occur not within conference rooms, combat zones, or lecture halls, but during peaceful, seemingly unremarkable instances that demonstrate our authentic selves. Henry's narrative transcends mere wealth or subterfuge. It concerns the principles that endure through time: compassion, dignity, modesty, and the bravery to shield our loved ones from danger, regardless of the pain involved. Within a society where facades prove misleading, judging individuals by their attire, transportation, or professional status becomes effortless. Yet as Henry's masquerade demonstrated, none of these elements can conceal or amplify a person's fundamental character. A generous spirit will radiate regardless of circumstances, while a cruel one will inevitably expose itself, even beneath the most convincing pretense. Most individuals may never need to assume false identities to uncover reality. However, we all encounter moments requiring decisions about our treatment of others. Will we become those who ignore someone's suffering, or those who extend assistance? Will we judge based solely on appearances, or invest time understanding inner qualities? If Henry's experience imparted any wisdom, it reveals that affection lacking kindness remains empty, while respect forms the genuine cornerstone of relationships worth preserving. Allow this story to remind us that the smallest gestures, a smile, an expression of thanks, a patient moment, can surpass any magnificent demonstration of prosperity. If this message resonated within your heart, please like, share, and subscribe.